My name is Lydia Miller, and I am the director of Viper and producer on TerraFemina.
Hi, my name is Catherine Gwynn. I'm a theater artist and playwright, and I am the writer of Merely Players.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Adams. I am a co-producer and I am writer of Viper.
My name is Eric Palmquist. I'm an actor and designer.
Merely Players was the first full-length play I actually ever wrote. I was doing a lot of actually sexual assault activism on my college campus when I was being involved in a lot of dialogues in terms of reproductive justice, and I was navigating what I was feeling as a queer woman at the time, feeling unsafe, what a lot of the experiences of other queer women that I knew were feeling with these conversations around misogyny and sexual violence and the ways women experience them differently according to class, according to sexual identity, according to gender presentation. It came around the same time as when I saw As You Like It for the first time, having read a lot of Shakespeare. But I'd heard that it was kind of regarded as a very feminist text, that Rosalind had the most lines out of any female character in Shakespeare. It is a dynamic comedy that's, plays a lot with gendered expectations and performance and meta theatricality, all these things that I really love. But at the end of the show, I was left thinking, but what about Phoebe? Phoebe, the lowly shepherd girl who is tricked by Rosalind in a marriage that she doesn't want. And I left that play without being able to get Phoebe out of my mind. It's a trunk show, but it's a magical trunk. And the characters themselves, it's 3 actors who each play 2 parts, and they change into their different characters, one being a female character, one being a male character on stage in front of the audience. And there's a lot of playing just with both scripts about what does it mean to feel trauma and experience trauma? What does it mean to hold that within your body? What does it mean to perform gendered expectations? What does it mean to play into that role and to have to perform that role? Both plays really delve into different but nuanced ways, asking those same questions of the audience. But you could, as an audience member, see both plays and be asked those questions but get very different answers.
Viper is the first one that I read, and it caught a hold of me and would not let go. It haunted me for months. It's enchanting and kind of terrifying, and it sucks you in, and you get to watch this young woman discover her own power in a world where women didn't really have power, and then something horrible happens and you get to kind of watch her descend into madness, and it's heartbreaking, but it's also incredibly relatable. I chose to present it through the eyes of Lily, the protagonist. It's her experience working through postpartum depression. It's her experience dealing with an invisible disability. It's her trying to work through carrying a child out of rape. So people who haven't experienced sexual assault or who haven't experienced this kind of a mental disorder can come in and see the world as that human sees it. When you see the experiences that they have had through their eyes, that you understand why Lily does the things she does. You understand why Phoebe is pushed to act in the way she does in Merely Players. One of the things I really wanted to explore with Viper are the ways in which an audience can experience narrative without words, that we can physically tell a story. And Viper does that a lot of different ways. It does that with puppets. It does that with dance and movement. And a lot of that was born out of my experience working in different devising groups, being part of a Butoh dance theater ensemble with a local theater in town to perform in that, and having the physical experience of doing that kind of movement and using that in my writing and in my playwriting.
What struck me most about each script when I read it for the first time was the ability of both these playwrights to take an existing idea, the Shakespearean heroine or the Victorian woman, and completely re-envision it through a modern lens that acknowledges a conversation about identity, about representation, about trauma. Each script retelling these ideas in such an ambitious and challenging way.
So it's really important to all of us at TerraFemina to not just present these stories to our audience, but to create a dialogue with our audience. And we're doing that in several different ways. We want to make sure to actually have staged readings of both of these plays before we go into production. We will actually be partnering with MOXA, Metropolitan Organization to Counter Sexual Assault, with those readings. And we will present them in different locations just outside of Kansas City to try to reach a broader audience. And we're going to have MOXA there to help facilitate a talkback, just to speak with the audience, to talk to them about some of these issues, to hear from the community what their experience is, how they experienced the play, if there were any moments that they struggled with, if there were any moments that they did find triggering, because it's really important to me as a writer that this is a play that someone who has experienced sexual assault can come to see and feel safe in.
Our team is majority women, majority queer. For me, being a queer woman, it means a lot that both of the directors are queer women. I think all of those elements have been made this an incredibly unique experience thus far, and I think is going to very much show up in the end product, that this will feel like a very not just inclusive, but cohesive and more expansive kind of theatrical experience than I really think has been done in Kansas City before.
I think together they just have something really unique to say, and something that really needs to be said right now. And particularly in the Kansas City community, I think we're starting to edge towards there being a much more prominent female voice within the city, but we can push it farther.